This is CBS News.
You don't need a job platform, you need a hiring partner. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A federal jury has spoken, saying Google's App Store has been propped up by uncompetitive barriers.
The trial has centered on a lawsuit filed by Fortnite maker Epic Games. A key aspect of Epic's case against Google has involved the company asking the jury to find that Google needs to allow more competition in its app stores. The case now goes back to the judge to decide how to remedy the harm found by the jury. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher.
For Google, this represents a major blow legally, and it could potentially lead to many millions of dollars being lost if people start using other app stores and payment methods.
Google says it will appeal the decision. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Ousted Fox News host Tucker Carlson has announced he's starting his own streaming network. He says it'll feature interviews, longer podcast-style conversations, films, even an advice program. It costs $72 a year. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
WPTV's First Alert Weather on WPSL is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning, family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1982. Online at seacoastair.com. Now with a look at our forecast, here's meteorologist Jennifer Correa.
Chilly morning temperatures in the low 50s, and we are going to warm things up though as we go into the afternoon. Highs today 75 degrees with mostly sunny skies, so sweaters this morning, but not so much this afternoon. It's also pretty breezy for this afternoon. Wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour, with those winds turning out of the northeast today. It does become more humid, especially by tomorrow, and passing showers are possible tomorrow, but more scattered showers are expected, especially for the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and even into the start of the weekend, as temperatures remain mainly in the upper 70s with humid conditions. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Jennifer Correa for WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Discover a luxurious lifestyle. Discover Harbor Place in Port St. Lucie, offering the finest in independent and assisted living. Do you want to spend your golden years maintaining a home, cleaning a house? Not at Harbor Place. The experienced staff at Harbor Place takes care of everything, so you can enjoy all that the community has to offer. Call 772-337-4330 for a tour of the gem of senior living on the Treasure Coast. Are you or your parents swimmers? Enjoy the beautiful outdoor pool. After your swim, enjoy fine dining with your friends. And don't forget to explore the Treasure Coast, from hiking trails to numerous golf courses. Active seniors enjoy Harbor Place. You can join them too. 337-4330. Harbor Place, and welcome home.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
It's 11:07 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast. And you're on with Katrina Beasley at Harbor Place. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Doing very well. So
awesome.
how are things progressing at Harbor Place?
I was just sitting here and I was thinking of the song that came to mind. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here at Harbor Place, we are all decorated and the residents are in a festive mood as well as our associates. And of course, we are still open and inviting our prospects, future residents into the community. And so, but it's going good. No
Well,
complaints.
yeah, just if for some reason, sometime during the show you start hearing bells,
Okay.
that's because Mr. G and Bonnie from WPSL and Evan 9 from WSTU are all bell ringers today at
Oh,
Eastport
okay.
Plaza, right next to you. So
Ah, oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's
Oh, that is great.
right up the road from you. So yeah,
I've
so
seen that.
yeah,
You
yes.
know, that's funny because we have in our assisted living, we have a group of residents who do handbell. And so on Mondays is their practice day, and we have been doing these Christmas carols with those residents who are doing the handbell. And I've said to Bethany, who is our lifestyle director, certainly we should take our show on the road, right? Be able to maybe visit some of the other healthcare facilities, or maybe the children's, daycare, and really just kind of showcase the talent of our residents here, and this thing that since they've moved in, they've come to love, right? And so as you talk about bells, I'm reminded of Monday when I could hear our residents um, practicing their Christmas carols with the handbells.
Well, that leads me to we have entertainment during the Christmas Kid shows every day for our fundraising campaign.
Yeah.
That's what we could do next year. We can have your handbell choir here in the studio with us. I
Yeah.
think that would be awesome. How many people in the group?
There's probably about 10, maybe 15.
That may be a little large in here, but
Maybe
that's
a little
okay.
large. We'd have to break it down a little bit. Is that right?
Well, maybe 5 or 6 or maybe 10. And actually, they can be outside. We had Lincoln Park Academy's string quartet, but I mean, the big instruments. So it was,
Yeah.
and that all worked out there. Yeah, we may have to book next year. We could do
Yeah,
that.
that
a
would,
year
you
in
know
advance.
what? That would be great. So with our residents, and then of course partnering with some of the high schoolers, right, to get them to come in and share and showcase their talent with our residents, right? So with doing some Christmas songs and just really getting our residents in the mood, even more for Christmas. And then of course, as we're into Hanukkah right now.
Yep. That sounds awesome. We'll have to do that. And by the
Yeah.
way, talking about some of the kids, we had 9 members of the Fort Pierce Central Key Club help
Uh-huh.
packing for the Christmas kids on Saturday.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
And they packed for 522 youngsters, and they did it in what, 2 hours and 10 minutes, something like. It was, needless to say, a record time for us.
Mhm.
And we'll be giving away the toys on Friday.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
nice. That's
Oh
nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, is that done at the radio station that you
No,
do that? Oh,
no. That was that's at the logistics center for the
oh,
county.
okay. Okay.
And the Key Club members, and Fort Pierce Central is amazing. They have a lot of HOSA kids, and they're future nurses and doctors, I guess. And
Mhm.
then they have 300 members of this Kiwanis Key Club, which I think is astronomical. It's the largest one in the state of Florida. And so, the kids did a great job. Just a
Oh, that's
tremendous
awesome.
job. Yeah.
I mean, here at Harbor Place, we love doing the intergenerational programs. And of course, having the students or the kids come in and kind of do a craft with our residents, or maybe they are performing, particularly at this time of year. Last week, we had our official tree lighting in our assisted living, and we had a young lady come in, and she performs, but she also volunteers at I think she said the Art Institute. And so she was able to come in and do some carols with our residents. And we lit the tree and had some refreshments. And it was great because our residents, it really gave them an opportunity to reflect on holidays with their own families and what that looked like. And so just wanted to bring a little bit back to our residents to remember the holidays, think about what they did in terms of traditions and all of that. And so the intergenerational program is one of the things that we are so excited that we're able to do here at Harbor Place.
Well, and you not only could put together the intergenerational, but I mean, you've got people with such varied backgrounds at Harbor Place that they can really almost give you a worldwide view of their experiences, as youngsters or, even in their adult years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, I know sometimes the perception is that you come here and you're just here, right? There's nothing to do because I'm no longer in my home. But I tell you, there is so much to do here at Harbor Place. Our activities offering anywhere between 6 and 7 activities, and it starts right in the beginning of the morning, 9:30, and goes right up until about 7:30 in the evening time. And so just really, and when we talk about an active lifestyle, the residents here, right, and future residents really do have the opportunity to stay engaged and to be active with some of those things that they love to do, or maybe learning to love to do for the first time.
Well, and keep in mind too, I think what a lot of people need to know is, on your independent side, I mean, you've got folks with their own cars, people that go out golfing, they do, hiking, you name it. I mean, they really take advantage of the Treasure Coast.
Right. And that's the beauty of it, is that, when you're considering moving into a senior living community like this, some of those same things that you did independently at home, you can still do here. And one of those is bringing your car and being able to go out and run errands or meet some of your friends for lunch or for dinner, just as you did when you were at home. So now I look at it as it's like a double win, right? So they have friends outside of the community, and they've developed friendships inside of the community. They can take advantage of the activities and the programmings here in the community and still be able to enjoy some of those things that they love that they did outside of the community, right? But if they didn't want to do that, certainly we have our transportation that is provided to be able to go to medical appointments, shopping, some of those various excursions, right, that we love to do. So, hey, hair appointment, nail appointment, we have a salon here, but certainly, we kind of like who we like. And so we just still want to get there.
And don't forget the casinos there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so we have this year alone, we've gone to the casino about 5 times, right? Um, and of course, looking at 2024 to make sure that we include that in our activity schedule for those who like to go and play the slots or the blackjack or the poker and win some money. So it's wonderful to be able to offer that type of activity and that type of service to our residents. So it doesn't feel like they're stuck in the community, that they're still enjoying the outside of the community in the world.
New marketing scheme here. Harbor Place, Friends of the Seminole Casinos.
Ah, yeah, they love the casino, which is great. I mean, listen, if that's your guilty pleasure, hey, I'm all for it. Right. And happy that we can even offer that, the transportation to get them there.
Yeah, yeah, it is phenomenal. It really is. And we got to invite you guys up to some Indian River State College basketball games up in
Hmm.
the main campus in Fort Pierce. We had a lot of folks who are either parents or grandparents of the players last night, and it was kind of cool to see.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, again, our residents here, they enjoy the sports, right? Whether it's football or basketball or baseball. But what I found is most like baseball, and football. So I've got to check around and see who is a basketball fan and if that would be something that they might be interested in coming and then joining a game, right? Joining and cheering the students on. I know we have a couple of our residents who are season ticket holders for the St. Lucie Mets. So, we're always, looking to go and support them and our residents who have this season tickets, certainly making sure that they get to the games. But one of the things that I found out is that we do have a resident here who teaches. I don't know if that's teach or train for pickleball at the Civic Center,
Oh,
right?
hey,
And so
yeah.
I thought that was so amazing. And he is so proud of that, right? And they were recently, they recognized him at a volunteer luncheon because he goes and I guess it would be teaching pickleball. And so I thought, man, that is amazing. Now, I didn't know what pickleball was, right? And so then I found out and I thought, man, and there, I mean, this thing, Greg, is like competition. And so he was telling me, our resident was telling me how really he just teaches it and hopefully, in the teachings, he's training and that they would compete in some competitions,
Oh,
right?
sure. It is red hot around the country, and the big Coulter Homes development down by Tradition. I think they've got, what is it, 20 courts? I mean,
Wow.
it's nuts, and it's just a small version of tennis, and yeah, it is. And actually, my whole place at ESPN is developing a pickleball league type thing, made
Yeah.
for television, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
But
crazy.
again, it's amazing, right? So we have a resident who, is here enjoying the many activities and program. But again, like I said, he still has the opportunity to go out and volunteer with something that he loves to do. So when he shared that with me, I thought that was the most amazing thing. And I thought, wow, that is beautiful.
Now, was he a good tennis player back in the day?
Amazingly, he didn't play a lot of tennis. What he did, and I may have shared this before, but he started the first women's soccer at a university in Pennsylvania. And so he's very into the sports, right? And teaching and training. So I'm not sure if he's ever done tennis, but certainly pickleball he's done. And then all of us, he was part of the group there. And then the next thing I know, he is teaching and training at the Civic Center, which is great.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, Civic Center is right up the road from you as well, and that is great. It
It
really
really
is.
is. I mean, again, so, whereas some may be thinking, while I'm moving into this type of setting, I'm not going to be able to still do many of the things that I did or are still doing, but there is really still an opportunity to have an active lifestyle, whether inside the community, participating in the activities and the programming, or outside of the community. And that's something that we really encourage our residents to get involved. I mean, they've been volunteering all of their lives, right? I just learned from another resident that HCA St. Lucie Medical is starting back up their volunteer program. And so one of our residents, or a couple of our residents, were volunteers prior to COVID. And so they're excited that they now are able to go back to the hospital and be able to be volunteers. And
Yeah.
so they're super, super excited for that.
Now, were these what, pink ladies or?
Know if
Yeah.
they were, I don't know what they were called. I mean, retired nurses for sure, right? But I don't know what they call them in the hospital. I mean, long time ago, what was it, candy stripers or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's so true. And, and of course, COVID just shut everything down. And I know we have got some friends who were in the giving to the Christmas kids from the gift shop at Lawnwood. And that was virtually shut down because of COVID.
Sure. But
Yeah.
but again, it just kind of shows that our residents are still not only engaging in what's happening here, but outside, right? They still feel they're valued and they want to be able to help. So it just doesn't stop once you move into this type of setting. And so I'm super excited for them to be able to go back to the hospital. I have a couple of residents who go to the library, and what they've been doing is taking some of our books and switching them out at the library and bringing some of the more up-to-date novels and biographies to our libraries here. And nobody has asked them to do that. That is just something that they've wanted to do. They recognize, hey, we're going to keep in with the times. And so taking some of the older books and then bringing some of the newer books back to the community so others can read them and have access to them.
That's awesome. That is really tremendous. Now, another, I'm sure you already do it, but I was thinking of, especially with what's going on now, we're one of the sponsors for Heathcote Botanicals holiday program, taking maybe some of the residents up there. It is so beautiful at night. It really is. And it's up at Fort Pierce a ways, but still, it is a magnificent setting.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't believe we have ventured into there, but one of the things is because it is the season, we've had the opportunity to take our residents out on the holiday lights ride, right? So to see all of the beautifully decorated homes with the lights. I can only imagine that botanical garden is beautiful. And so I will need to talk with Bethany, our lifestyle director, to say, hey, have we considered that? That may be one of those things that they have to walk through. And so that may be a little bit of a challenge, but, certainly they still get to see the beauty of the lights. And I tell you, our first outing was this past Saturday, and the residents came back to just describe the beauty of all of the lights that they saw on the beautifully decorated homes, and it reminded them of what they did with their kids, right? Who are now adults, and so now they get to do that with their grandkids. So it's absolutely wonderful. It is.
Well, another thing that our grandkids used to love dancing through, and that's the dancing palm trees at the Fort Pierce Marina. And that doesn't take much walking at all. They can just kind of sit there and enjoy the music and the palm trees changing colors. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a great time to not only enjoy the season, but certainly just to kind of reflect again on what their holidays used to look like. And so we just try to replicate a lot of that here with our programming, with our meals, our holiday meals that are coming up, some of their favorites, and then of course bringing in the new year. just kind of what they did when they were at home and leading their lives outside of Harbor Place. It's just really just trying to replicate that um, here for the holidays.
Well, I'm not sure I could really celebrate that much. I usually go to bed around 9 o'clock on New Year's Eve. It's I miss everything.
Well, Greg, I tell you, I am not much of the partier either. And so there's probably a couple of years I've been in the bed before midnight and saw it the next day.
And watch it on television. Oh boy. Yeah, well, and for some reason, we've got a college basketball game here at IRSC on the 1st. So yeah, gotta be relatively sharp for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you definitely will be in the bed a little early, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely.
listen, you know what? However the new year rings in, or when you ring it in, it's a new year. It's new opportunities, new changes, in our lives, in our family lives, and certainly for us here at Harbor Place, we've been so fortunate with the many residents who have joined our family, and certainly as we look to 2024, I'm looking for even more of potential residents, future residents to join our family here.
Ringing
There
in
you
the
go.
new year. There you
Yes.
go. Ring it in. So yeah, and it seems like we're hours away from 2024, and you've got to have some amazing plans at Harbor Place for that year.
Yeah, again, it's so crazy because as much as, we're still in 2023, right? So we have a couple of weeks to go. But I tell you, we're already looking at 2024, and everything that we have planned, for the community, for our residents and our associates as well. So I know right in January, we start off with a bang with Ashley Cooper, joining us here at Harbor Place. And I tell you, last year was my first time seeing this entertainer. They kind of told me the stories about him, right? And because he's only in the area for a period of time, it's like gold. Everyone's trying to get it, right? And so I forget the date, it escapes me right now, but I'll share that next week. But we have Ashley Cooper who will be performing here at Harbor Place, not just for our residents, but for future residents or residents who are interested in learning more about Harbor Place. So it'll be a nice time of coming and experiencing that show because it is an experience, I tell you.
Well, now, is this a singer?
He is. So he is a singer, dancer. He's kind of like an all-around entertainer. And apparently he has made a name for himself, not only in this area, but down south, a little bit further south. And so literally, he loves Harbor Place. So when he comes back into the country, we're like one of the first ones that he's reaching out to say, hey, I'm in town for this period. Do you have a spot on your calendar or do you want a spot on your calendar? So we're going to start the new year off with a bang, with some great entertainment, as well as, looking to January, February, March, doing our lunch and learn. So that's something that we're introducing here to the community for our outside community to come in and learn a little bit about a specific subject or topic that may be prevalent, that may be relevant to the times now, and have some lunch on us. So really, again, we're in 2023, but honestly, we're already planning for 2024.
Well, and I think the big thing too is for folks out driving around, if you're in a civic group and you need a beautiful place to meet, boy, consider Harbor Place, especially the back room. It's very nice.
Absolutely. I mean, as a matter of fact, we have our Alzheimer's support group, which is meeting right across the hall from me now, right in our bistro area. Last week we had our retired nurses, and we had Santa Claus show up for them. And so really just a great time for those who are looking for a space. Give us a call. We are happy to partner with you and offer beautiful meeting rooms and spaces here in the community for you to host your events or even host your support groups or a meeting. I mean, no better place than to be here. We're always looking, Pat and myself, always looking to show the community off, the many different areas that we have, the beauty of the campus that we have here. So if there is someone out there and they're looking for a space, certainly just give us a call here at Harbor Place.
Boy, I remember Carol and I used to come to, you used to have pretty large speeches, if you will, in your dining room, a big lunch, whether it was from Martin Memorial or somebody. And it was just an amazing event, and it was a community-wide event.
Yeah.
But folks had a chance to meet residents and of course listen to some pretty neat speakers too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the whole lunch and learn concept is coming back, because you did that for decades.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, gives us, an opportunity to share with some of our community partners out there, the opportunity to learn something different or something that they may have had questions for. Like I said, something that's relevant for now. And then, of course, to showcase our food, right? With our chef prepared meals. And so we are so excited to be able to do that. And as those dates are approaching, certainly I'd love to be able to just share that with the radio audience here.
Oh, you bet. Yeah. And seriously, if you're looking for a place, and if you start thinking of just regular maintenance stuff around your house, and then you tack on HOA fees and stuff like that, Harbor Place is really reasonable. It really is when you compare it to various home costs.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions we get mostly, or either sometimes the kind of pushback as to why I don't want to come, because in terms of factoring in the cost. But I tell you, we have a wonderful tool that we have created to really be able to show, apples and oranges, right? What does it look like when what you're paying at home versus coming into a setting like this, right? When you're looking at, if your home is paid for, then obviously you don't have the mortgage, right? But you still have your taxes, you still have your insurance. Who's doing your grocery shopping? Who's keeping up with the lawn? Transportation. Are you still driving, or are you having to have someone drive for you? Just the whole maintenance of the home, the upkeep. And so we'd like to, when someone says, hey, you know what, how is this feasible for me, right? And so we like to do those cost comparisons. And I tell you, hands down, this setting is the best setting, for someone who is considering, this is way too much for me. I don't have time to enjoy my friends or my family. Harbor Place, independent living, assisted living, certainly is hands down the best solution for someone who might be thinking about, hey, can I still do this successfully, at home and safely at home?
Well, and you just start thinking about, there's just two of us. And we had to buy like some soaps and other stuff over and above the groceries. Well, it was $200. And we're thinking, wow, we didn't buy meat. It was just like veggies and stuff like that. But then we had, the detergent now is $10. And you just kind of shake your head going, what in the world is happening? Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, this setting, I mean, you don't have to worry about those things. The grocery shopping, that can be a task at times, right? And so, and of course, we're still moving in this day and age where food shortages or high cost of food. And imagine being able to just walk down to the dining room, order off of our menu because it is restaurant style dining. You got a selection of two entrees, your side dishes, vegetable starches, your dessert, from everything from your beverages and all of that, and not to mention just good company, right? Breaking bread with those who you love to break bread with. And so imagine not having to do that, but come down to the dining room and enjoy some chef prepared meals.
Well, I know we used to joke about it on the morning show when and Charlie and the late Ed Birchfield would come on down to Harbor Place and do the morning show there. And they said, this is a cruise ship. It just permanently docked. and,
Yeah.
and that's so true.
Yeah. Most times that's what, when we ask our residents, like describe, your setting here. And they do, they said, I feel like I'm on a cruise ship, right? Or that I'm walking into this grand hotel, and look at all of the services and the amenities, right? Not to mention the caring and friendly staff, as well as my caring and friendly neighbors. So, but I get that a lot, that they just believe they're on a cruise ship and they are enjoying all of the amenities and the services that Harbor Place has to offer.
And I remember running into, when we were doing the Christmas Kid shows there, folks who have been your residents for years and wouldn't trade it for anything.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going on about 23 years here, and I tell you, there are residents who are still here, um, thriving, enjoying the many activities, programs, services, and amenities. And, those are our ambassadors. Those are the ones who we ask to share with others who may be considering this type of setting. What sets, Harbor Place apart, or why should you make this decision, right? And to hear the response and what they're sharing, after so many years, right? It just remains consistent. And I think that is what just, sets us apart. It's the reason why we're still here 23 years with one owner.
Sure. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that makes perfect sense. And really, if you think about it, they are your ambassadors, and what I think I've always struck me was the fact that there are some places out there that, they couldn't care less and, don't value your opinion. You do. And if the residents make suggestions, you act on them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no different than, me as the consumer and going out and expecting services, whether, it affects me directly or a family member. It's they're our consumers. They're part of our family. And so they have a say, in what programming, what, activities look like here. And honestly, Greg, we value the feedback that we get, because I'm a big, proponent of, hey, we can't just be complacent in what we're doing, because once we do that, we never grow, right? And so tell me the constructive criticism, tell me those things that are working well and those things that aren't working well, so that we have an opportunity. This is their home. They've selected us, as their home. We are excited that they are here. And so what better way is to listen, to the feedback, and then either individually, us as a management team, a company, or a community, resolve some of those things, or sometimes just having, a a task force, or lack of a better word, or a group of residents who sit and they share, right? Because we don't always see it because we're looking at it sometimes from the outside. And so when we immerse ourselves in and we put ourselves in our residents' shoes, sometimes we can see it. And we're like, yeah, you're right, because it seems to be working and, new perspective. And so feedback is one of the things that I value and our department team here values, as well as the company itself.
Yeah, and you think that the fact that it has been going a couple decades, and the fact that there is only one owner, and will be for in perpetuity, I think that in itself speaks volumes about Harbor Place.
It really does. It sets us apart, maybe from some of the other communities that, have maybe a larger type owner operator system with their community. It doesn't make them any less. I mean, we're just proud that there is the consistency, that we're not seeing multiple changes that come across, on a yearly basis or an every 3-year basis, or, how those things sometimes work. And so, Mr. Preston, I mean, when he had the vision, he wrote it. He wrote the vision, he made it plain, and here we are today, with our communities throughout 19 states. Our sister company, our parent company, Life Care Centers of America, really just being able to offer this continuum of care for our residents, So it's I love it. I mean, maybe I wish I would have thought of it.
Well,
you know.
now that's an interesting question. So you're in 19 states. Can you almost do this like, what do they do? Like the trading of vacation spots or something like that? Maybe go to one other location for a few months and check that out and then come back to Harbor Place, or how could something like that work?
It is so funny that you are asking that question because I did a tour recently and they asked that question, like, my brother lives here, and because you have communities in Colorado, would they be able to go there? And I said, you know what, good question. So I'm waiting to hear that, because wouldn't that be great that you could actually go? Now, whether they have an apartment available, I don't know the whole logistics of how that would happen. But wouldn't that be great that you would be able to do that? And I thought, wow, so it was an interesting question that I got asked. And then here it is, Greg, that you are asking that again. And so I gotta follow back up and get a real answer for you and for our
Well,
radio audience,
I
right?
don't
Our
know.
radio listeners.
Yeah, and I don't even know why I thought of it. Although we have people calling on Swap Shop periodically, selling a week and here and
Yeah.
there,
Sure.
at one of their vacation spots. So just a
That
thought.
would be great. It would be great. Yeah. I mean, you would think that they might want to be closer to their families, but hey, it's kind of the same setting. And so they would be most comfortable there. Yeah. I'm writing it down, Greg, so that I can ask that question.
Okay. So 2024 looks like it's going to be a busy year, if not even a hair busier than this year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the goal, right? To be able to one up or two up something that we hadn't done, that we didn't do in 2023, that we will introduce in 2024. So whether it is something within our activities, whether it is looking at our menu and the options, the amenities of the community, doing some upgrades within the community. 2024, will look a little different for us here. And so we're already moving towards that now to put some things into place and really just continue to make Harbor Place the place to be.
And you just gone through a massive remodeling in both the assisted and independent, and it just looks like a brand new building.
Yeah, I mean, from each, I mean, gosh, you're talking about 257 apartments that were newly renovated with granite countertops, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, luxury plush carpet in the bedrooms, new appliances. So, I mean, you can't get any better than that. It certainly does make for showing off not only the community, the services, but the great residents that we have here and the great associates. So it's a beautiful community. It really is.
I know you've mentioned a lot of the recreation aspects, and you manage to keep folks busy, as you say, basically almost sun up to sundown. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, right? Again, one of the things that we pride ourselves on, and when someone is inquiring about the community, is that we do promote that active lifestyle. And if we're promoting it, then we've got to have it, right? We've got to have the activities and the programs in place so that the resident who is coming and moving into the community actually sees that and experiences that there. It's not just something we're saying just to be saying, it's actually fact, right? It's what we do. So, yeah.
And technologically, you're up with it. I know a lot of the seniors that we've talked to. It was funny. One of them, one of the kids on Saturday, I took their picture of them, and she said, "Oh, just airdrop it to me," you know.
Yeah.
And so one of the other folks who happened to be there has been working with the Christmas kids for, I don't know, 30 years. And she says, "Oh yeah, I airdrop stuff all the time." I looked at her, I said, "You do?" And so, yeah, folks are aware.
I tell you though, our residents, they're moving with the times, right? So I mean, it's probably a good problem, but not a good problem where they will call and say, "Hey, I can't stream," or, "I'm not able to connect." I tell you, Greg, there are so many of our residents with iPhones and tablets and, smart televisions, and they are streaming, many of those providers, Hulu, Netflix, you know, and so we were talking about it the other day and we were like, yeah, we're going to expand our bandwidth here, right? um, so that we can make sure that everybody can stream when they want to stream. And of course, we have a class. We have tech support, right? We do that on Thursday afternoons, and the residents can come in, bring whatever their devices are, and get help with some of that technological stuff, right? Some of them want to know how to airdrop. They want to know how to get to Facebook or TikTok. They want to know how I can, on my tablet, be able to listen to music of old, right? I'm not going to buy CDs. I can't find the radio station, but certainly say Alexa, right? Play, and Alexa plays. And so it is wonderful to be able to not only offer that support to our residents, but it is just amazing that they are willing to move with the times.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned as far as the streaming goes, you are talking to folks in 69 countries, according to our streaming company in Illinois.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
little scary, and but yeah, it's the world is really shrinking, really shrinking. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and technology is allowing us to be able to connect more readily, more frequently than we ever have been able to, and so, which is again a great thing. Whereas there were so many things that had to be done hands on, and we still do a lot of that, but it still keeps the residents in tune, up to date. They're not feeling like they're lost in a world that doesn't look like anything that they knew.
Yeah, and I know just in at IRSC we have one of the players from Serbia. His parents are listening in Serbia. One of our players from Morocco, his mom's listening in Morocco. I mean, it's just incredible what's happening, and the fact that you're up with that is really something, and that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when they come to the United States and visit and to Port St. Lucie, we want them to come to Harbor Place and see our community. I am opening that invitation now, Greg.
There you go, worldwide invitation. So
That's exactly right. I
yeah.
am opening up that invitation now.
So if you're listening in the Philippines, come on down. Oh,
absolutely. And more importantly, if you're listening right here in Port St. Lucie, feel free to stop by. Come check us out or give us a call and schedule a time to come and see the community so that we can show off many of the services and the amenities that we have. So, hey, come. I am excited.
we have a friend who did a kind of a cold call on one of the communities, and they were not exactly welcoming that. And I know you guys have always said, obviously, if you make an appointment, that's fine. We'll show you the community. But, you also take folks off the street that might just want to see it.
That's right. I mean, again, certainly we're here, right? There is always someone from our management team here 7 days a week who are just excited as Pat and myself to be able to share and show off the community. Just stop by. We are here, and if you're going to come and you want to do the whole make a reservation or make an appointment kind of thing, give us a call at 772-337-4330.
And if you're up in the Northeast where it's getting rather cool now, don't lose that phone number.
Absolutely.
Katrina and Pat are waiting to help you down here in sunny Florida.
In sunny Florida, I was reminded today that yesterday and today are our 2 cool days that we're going to have, and after that, it is gearing up to be a beautiful, beautiful week. And what better place to be able to walk the grounds at Harbor Place, right? And enjoy some of that Florida weather. I mean, it's beautiful. I see the sun shining. It's going to warm up a little bit. So it's great to be able to just be here in the community and, of course, walk the grounds, right, as your own private walking trail.
Yep. And and you can, if you'd like, you want to get in a couple laps of the whole facility. I mean, that's a pretty good walk.
Yep, absolutely. And the other beauty of it is that for those who love the pool, you can still get in the pool with this weather, right? Because we got our heated pool, right? So you can still get in there. And if you get out and then you want to get into the hot tub, you can get into that as well. So, hey, listen, it's the perfect place to be. It really is. It's the perfect place to be.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. Well, you folks do such a good job there, and hats off to you. And I know that 2024 is just going to be something special for you.
Absolutely. And Greg, I will tell you, 2023, being able to share this time with you, opening up the radio station, to be able to allow us just to share a little bit about our community. Certainly, I am so thankful and grateful that you have even taken the time out to just listen and for us to be able to share with the radio audience out there. Truly, truly grateful for what you do each and every day for the community here, and then certainly Harbor Place being able to partner with you with that.
Well, thank you so much for that, and yeah, and we have enjoyed it. There's no doubt about it. And you know, I've already got the Christmas Kids schedule in my mind for next year. We got to get that handbell group here.
I'm telling you, that would be fun, and I know they would love it, right? Because no matter how old we are, we're still hams. We still want to show off, right? And I'm so happy to be able to do that.
That's great. Yeah. Well, hey, look, best to you. Of course, the holidays are coming, and I know you're going to be busy, you and Pat, and the whole crew there at Harbor Place.
Absolutely, but we're still here even throughout the holidays. So if you want to stop by and check us out and allow us to be able to show you our beautiful campus and community, call us at 772-337-4330.
All right. Have a good week. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, Greg. Next week.
All righty.
Discover a luxurious lifestyle. Discover Harbor Place in Port St. Lucie, offering the finest in independent and assisted living. Do you want to spend your golden years maintaining a home, cleaning a house? Not at Harbor Place. The experienced staff at Harbor Place takes care of everything, so you can enjoy all that the community has to offer. Call 772-337-4330 for a tour of the gem of senior living on the Treasure Coast. Are you or your parents swimmers? Enjoy the beautiful outdoor pool. After your swim, enjoy fine dining with your friends. And don't forget to explore the Treasure Coast, from hiking trails to numerous golf courses. Active seniors enjoy Harbor Place. You can join them too. 337-4330. Harbor Place, and welcome home.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. Ukraine's president's